What are we here to do?
Love God and love people. Full stop.
What does faithfulness mean to you?
Loving God and loving people.
What do you mean?
I know, it seems so simple, right? Faithfulness is choosing to daily, again, it's that idea of continual salvation, right? It's the daily, sometimes minute by minute in those hard days, to choose the way of Jesus, to choose to love in spite of not wanting to choose hope in spite of darkness, to love God and everything that He's done and everything that He is doing in the midst of His people and in the midst of our world. And faithfulness is first acknowledging it. Again, having our eyes open. I think we just have to have our eyes open. And so faithfulness is having our eyes open, and secondly, responding accordingly. That's what loving God and loving people really looks like. It's having our eyes open to what God is doing, understanding it, and living it out. And if we understand what God is doing here on earth, and it's a beautiful thing, it's a miraculous thing, it's a transformational thing, then if we truly understand that, if we have a good grasp of that, we have no choice but to love people. It should be a natural outpouring of understanding God's goodness. And that's what being faithful is. So, yeah, it's being faithful is just the love of Jesus and putting one foot in front of the other. Which sounds easy when you say it, but it's the hardest thing you'll ever do.
It sounds mundane.
It does sound mundane, doesn't it? But it's anything but, because it's resurrection. I think.
Even without mountaintops?
Yeah. It is. Because you could be deep in the valley, but the truth of God is that there's always a sliver of light. And that there's always just a little bit of hope, and there's just a little bit to cling on to. Just that little crack in the window. So, you know, being faithful is just, and some days it's a clinging for your dear life. I've had those days, I still have those days sometimes where it's just, oh my God, do I have to get out of bed again? Really? I have to do it again? You're making me face all of this again? You're making me face my worst demons, my depression, my anxiety, like, this is really what I have to wake up to again? There are those days where it's a clinging. It is a grasping on with every fiber of your being just to get out of bed. But that's being faithful.
We'll get you out of bed.
Hope that maybe today will be better than yesterday. That maybe I'll be a little bit more like Jesus today than I was yesterday. That maybe my kids will scream a little bit less than yesterday. You know, maybe, I mean, all those things, it's the maybes. It's the maybes. You know, if at the end of the day I'm sitting around the table with some friends and I know tonight I'm gonna go to bed and tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and chances are I'm gonna have to cling to a maybe. I wanna hear how someone else clinged to their maybe. You know, and again, like,
And
maybe today will be better. Maybe today will be better. And I want to hear how other people are hoping. I want to hear how other people are clinging to hope. Because that breaks the window open just a little bit wider. It breaks the door open a little bit wider. It makes that crack of light just a little bit bigger. When we realize that we're not alone, that there are others that are alongside us in this journey that are hoping and that are stuck in that maybe moment of going, maybe tomorrow will be better. And I think that hearing those stories and sitting and listening and me speaking my story of clinging to hope, maybe that'll break the door open just a little bit wider for somebody else. Maybe. My mentor through college, I think it was her mentor, maybe her mom, I can't remember. She would, walk into the kitchen. My mentor would walk into the kitchen and this woman would be standing at the window holding her cup of coffee and she'd say, maybe today. Maybe Jesus will come back today. Maybe today. I love that, just that there's hope in the maybe. So we just live in that awkward tension. But, it's easier some days than others, but again, it's clinging to that hope. So, because we're promised that. We're promised hope. We're promised that Jesus came to bring it. It has already been brought.
Hi.